The Seven Princes of Hell. The Seven Princes of Hell is an idea we mentioned when we discussed Lucifer. It's not necessarily one that is mentioned clearly in scripture, but it is an interesting idea that many scholars have attempted to explain in the last 400 years. According to Peter Binsfeld, a theologian, bishop and religious scholar born in 1545 in the village of Binsfeld in the rural Eifel region, Germany. He was a Roman Catholicism, but he was especially anti-witch. He led the charge of the witch trials that lasted from 1581 to 1593, going so far as to publish the Confessions of Warlocks and Witches. In 1589, Peter Binsfeld published a list of demons believed to be the lords of hell. According to Binsfeld, the 7 deadly sins were much more than just deadly vices. He believed each one was a demon. So, who are these demons? Here are the 7 princes of hell and what they represent. Number 1. Lucifer, pride. The chief demon of hell, he is also known as Morningstar. He is one of God's first creations and one of his most powerful. He is regarded as one of the wisest among the angels and the most beautiful too. While embodying the sin of pride, Lucifer also represents original sin due to pride leading him to believe he could rule heaven and attempting to overthrow God. When Lucifer's rebellion failed, he was cast out of heaven. Some believe Lucifer and Satan to be one and the same, while others argue that Lucifer and Satan are two different entities completely. According to Binsfeld, Lucifer is the ruler of the 7 princes. Number 2. Mammon, greed. Closely associated with greed, money, and pursuit of material comforts above all else. I'm sure you've guessed, he is the embodiment of our next sin, greed. He was personified as the demon of greed in numerous pieces of literature. Some scholars classify him as one of the princes of hell, who would enslave those who were driven by greed and the accumulation of wealth. Mammon can be confused with Beelzebub, and though they both can be seen as demons of greed, aren't necessarily the same thing. Number 3. Asmodeus, lust. Asmodeus is a prince of demons, mostly known from the deuterocanonical book of Tobit, in which he is the primary antagonist. In Peter Binsfeld's classification of demons, Asmodeus represents lust. Asmodeus worked to spread lust throughout the land and infected hundreds if not thousands of people. Asmodeus fell in love with a human woman named Sarah, and prevented her from marrying. Asmodeus prevented her marriages by killing 7 of her husbands on their wedding nights before the marriage could be consummated. Sarah's 8th husband, however, survived. Some demonologists believe that Asmodeus went on to marry Lilith, but there is objection on that. Number 4. Leviathan, envy. Leviathan represents the sin of envy. Keep in mind, envy is not jealousy. Jealousy is I want what you have. Envy is I want to see what you have destroyed. Leviathan is one demon/creature that can be found in most world religions, or at least something that is similar to Leviathan. St. Thomas Aquinas described Leviathan as the punisher of those who suffer from envy by swallowing them. Leviathan's mouth is often depicted as the entrance of hell. Leviathan may be represented by a sea serpent. Number 5. Beelzebub, gluttony. Another name you may also see is the Lord of Flies or the Lord of Flyers, which refers to his ability to fly. Beelzebub has been equated with the god Baal, Satan, and many other deities. Beelzebub, according to Binsfeld, represented gluttony and is also referred to as the Lord of the Flies. Beelzebub, like Leviathan, has been found in numerous world religions. Beelzebub is considered to be associated closely with Lucifer, with one main difference. Beelzebub has no set territory and is free to roam wherever he pleases. Beelzebub is considered to be second only to Lucifer. Number 6. Satan, wrath. Satan was created as a perfect being. He is described as originally being wise and completely righteous. However, pride caused Satan to fall. Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty, since he wanted to receive the worship due to God alone. At that point there was rebellion in heaven, when Satan convinced 1/3 of the angels to rebel against God. Satan and his angels lost the battle and being cast from heaven down to earth. However, Satan wasn't finished in his rebellion against God. He managed to convince Eve. She believed Satan's lie that she would become like God. We don't know where Adam was at the time of Satan's temptation, but he followed his wife's lead and also disobeyed God's instructions. Number 7. Belphegor, sloth. Belphegor is regarded as the lord of sloth and represents deceit, laziness, and manipulation. He is very cunning and seduces his followers. You wouldn't be wrong to argue that he is better suited as the prince of manipulation and deceit. He convinces, seduces and manipulates humans into creating ingenious inventions that will make them rich, a whisper or a nudge in a certain direction that leads to amazing discoveries. but when these are complete the wealth and esteem are snatched away. Thank you for watching today's video. Kindly subscribe to get notified when new videos are uploaded.